Alright, here we are. Yeah, oh dear. Well, I'm starting this a little late. Just trying to skip over the map segment. So we're dropping down with the OSP, whoever this is bringing container ship. We're on Avora, 3K, 4v4, and playing on, or spectating on rather, one of the dedicated servers, ERI number 6, Miramara. Felt like doing that will be a little easier on my poor little computer. So we're here with Colot, 999. It's bringing some pinatas, a broom, a flashlight to a gunfight. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that, buddy. I mean, he is bringing a lot of them. But see, Chardonnay Mims. Let's see what sort of meme machine this fool is bringing this time. Oh, is this going to be a normal fleet? Yeah, this is a normal fleet. So, Chardonnay Mims being a slight disappointment in being an actually good fleet. Plasma, T-30s, Combat Ocello, and a pair of support frigates. Mineirus bringing, oh, plasma and T-30s. Lots of a plasma T-30s and a little bit of point defense. I don't think these BVs are going to be enough to deal with any hybrids coming out of the opposing force. But the plasma and T-30 combo could really wreck this heavy team. The ANS team is, oh my, so these are probably missile shit. Well, no, because these aren't missiles. Very heavy on the tonnage on the ANS side, so the plasma could be highly effective. And Quiz rockin' fighting Ocellos. Cannons with some ammo elevators, Sarissas, a lot of stuff. Grenade, of course. Grenade's been around quite a few times. If you're not familiar with the ship, it's got a pair of beam turrets and a Mark II VLS launcher with some missiles in it, a lot of missiles in it. And a 250 on the little extra force slot. Got here, my hands, your bones. The Dank. Bringing 83 Type 2 hybrids. So that's a few. And a scout. With missiles on it as well. Amazing. Type 3 hybrids. Okay. Telerik. Just bringing a gun Vox. Oh. Oh no. Oh, what are you doing, buddy? I'm bringing a point defense voxel. I preempted myself, assuming it was going to be a gun voxel, because I figured this player would actually be bringing something good to this fight. And a gunned up fighting Axford. So there's not enough firepower here. He also has an Illuminator, which isn't going to do anything, since he's not bringing any semi-actives. Why? Why would you do this? Yeah, it's funny in the lobby, Chardonnay Mims wanted to even up the teams because Telerik is a gold player. Without realizing that he's also a clown. A silly Billy. A troll. This is not a good build. This is, you know, usually I say, hey, there are very few objectively bad builds, but this is one of them. This is a gamble build meant to hard counter missiles. I suppose the OSP is bringing container ships, so this is going to do well against the container ship. Well, maybe not, because these are all stone walls. And stone walls don't perform that well against containers, because they're big and they got a lot of health. So we'll see. But this is a gamble build. You're hoping that your enemy is relying exclusively on missiles to deal their damage, which they aren't. A lot of plasma, a lot of guns coming out of this team. Would you bring this? I don't think we looked at Bart. Who's going to be bringing an Axford. Actually, we're going to have to come up here and then look at Bart. Okay, so this is actually going to be fine against the containers. So maybe that's... This gamble might work out anyways, in that it can just shut down this container player completely. But you could just fire in a different way, not kind of ignore this. Yeah, I think that's putting too many eggs in one basket. That's what that is. We got a gunned up Axford with a Mark III launcher, and then some scouts. A couple gunship rains, and a scout. Yeah, hybrid threes. Of course, everybody loves hybrids. They are quite good. Look at all the flag coming out of that. OSP Stonewall win. Just a bastion on drugs. Give me a 12-barrel flak cannon. That's what I want. In a 1x1x1 slot. I think that's pretty balanced. Continue listening for more hot, balanced discussion takes. For everybody who stays out of balanced discussion, which I highly recommend because the people there are insane. That's the sort of things that people tend to suggest. I think this container ship's about to die. Because it is just in the open here, and these hybrids can come across the universe. And get a good sprint off. And the bastions, I don't think the bastions are going to be enough for all these hybrids. Oh, game lagging a little bit. Ho ho! Kills all of them but one. Wow. Oh, well. And then catches them on the reload cycle. Knocking out half his missiles. Oh my. ANS already up on caps. OSP team being kind of slow to get into the fight. Extremely slow to get into the fight, in fact. These guys, everyone's just sort of sitting around rocks. You have to get on the map. This is why we do control. It's to discourage people from doing this. It's very annoying. And it is the opposite of playing the game. It's a good way to just extend the time. Ah, I didn't start a timer vote. I'll have to remember to start doing that. If I'm going to be casting out of these dedicated servers to use the vote system to add timers. Huge thank you to Mazur for getting these set up, by the way. I mean, I know this is his game and it's sort of his job to have these sorts of infrastructure ready, but it's also kind of not, because it hasn't been here until very recently. And I don't think that was planned either until very recently, so it's all been peer-to-peer. But these servers run so much better than my computer hosting or than anybody else's computer hosting, and they tend to be more reliable. There were some issues right at the start of their release, but they've really, really come a long way. Ooh, those weave on hybrids. Don't put weave on your hybrids. They'll miss. And that just did the swoosh, 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 and then just zoop right under the monitor that it was supposed to hit. Weaves on S2s are great, but yeah, on hybrids they just cause misses. Look at that. Ames, be aggressive. What are you doing? Well, he's retreating and firing at missiles. Never mind. I take it back. Don't pay any attention to me. Our container player has moved into cover, which is a good thing. He's going to need to be continually migrating, I think. I also think he's going to need to be careful not to dump his missiles into that wall. Oh, man. Oh, that's really close. Sending some containers after the dank I'm cringe, please don't look, which has Sarissas on it. So these might not survive the journey. Especially since he has defenders for when they inevitably get close. ANS completely dominating the map. Chardonnay Mam's continually getting bombed at, firing and retreating. He's gonna get to the edge of the map. Oh, never mind. This map is huge. Alright. Moment of truth here. Okay, Chardonnay Mam's mostly fine. My hands, your bones. Can you cut it? Did you bring enough point of... Oh, yeah. It's not even close. It's not even a competition. So, don't fire at that at long range. Got it. So that's a great spot for him to be in. Not in cover. The Sarissas can dominate the battlefield, can kill incoming containers, and then the defenders can mop up the remains. Grenade moving in. Beaming. Fire. Well, about to be beaming. Firing missiles. Or was previously beaming. Taking some counterfire off this team. These guys still not really doing much. Mims forced to retreat and fire. He's gonna run out of space eventually. And by retreating like this, he doesn't have any cover to duck behind. Oh, man. Some plasma on the nose. That'll be nice in the long run, but not gonna help too much right now. Ooh, the scout from My Hands Your Bones getting caught out by the monitor fleet. Although I think he's gonna get severely punished for it. No, these Pavisas doing work. Oh yeah. Never mind, they got hit. I just clicked on the wrong one. Pavisa's doing a decent amount of work, but not enough. The HEKP on these monitors is absolutely brutal. Just a handful of missiles damaging the whole ship. Like this, all reds, oranges, and yellows. God. Absolutely brutal. Some plasma going down the field. Looks like the track on this isn't very good. So a lot of missed shots. Especially with the high-speed voxel. Dipping down undercover. Getting more missiles out. Yeah, those monitors just have not paid the PD tax. So my original concern was with bringing Pavis. I think if these all have bastions, they'll be a lot safer. Because they can throw up a web of flak. But the Pavis is just so finicky on landing, on killing hybrids. It's just not enough. The Neptune and the Mercury taking immense amount of damage. But honestly killing far more than I would have expected. I don't know. Those might be performing better than flak. Those are doing really good. They really are. Yeah, especially since flak has to reload, and I don't think defenders do. Remains of Chardonnay Mim's fleet desperately trying to survive the Prometheus and the Persephone over here. Look at all these nerds. We got, okay, so these are either planet names or Roman god names. There's no way to know. And then we have a bunch of Greek names over here. Greek mythology names specifically. Oh, are you firing into a wall? Yep, he was track firing at the container ship and slamming his missiles into a wall. Don't track fire. It's my obligatory don't track fire. I think I've also gotten out my obligatory have point defense. That is an obligation that I must. And those are my taxes. That's my spectator tax. The player's got to have point defense tax. As a spectator, I've got to remind everyone of their point defense tax and of their don't track fire your missiles because they'll run into walls tax. Direct missiles have a place, but you really got to have an open area for that. And if you have crews on your missiles, use the crews. You can almost always plot out a better cruise path, and usually pretty quick once you get good at it, than a track fire path, a direct path. A little bit of wastage, a lot of wastage coming in here. You are cringe, and I'm seeing it. I'm bearing witness to your wastage. Poor men's getting bullied off the field of battle. Of course, while this is going on, the OSP fleet is able to rotate. They aren't taking any points, which I think would be a better idea. While the entire ANS fleet is chasing after this one guy, these OSP ships could rotate around and cap Delta, Charlie, Alpha, and maybe even Echo at the end of it with relative ease. Since there's not much over here, but they're pretty bloodthirsty, chasing this scout. This whole fleet chasing a scout. Definitely overkill. And now they're going to turn and fight Telerik, who does not have the gunpowder to stand up to a dedicated combat fleet. He's got the anti-missile situation on lock. On lock, in my opinion. But he just can't really shoot back. That's one ship that's not going to be doing anything. One single Axford doesn't have the firepower to take on a whole bunch of monitors. With plasma, although they do need to get the plasma rotated around and on the Axford for those T-30s to be doing anything. Quiz, providing fire. Oh man, grenade taking significantly more damage than I was expecting from this push. A lot of it, of course, self-inflicted from overthrusting. But you have to if you want to be catching things. This ship is basically dead. It's burning, but yeah, I think Grenades figured it out that it's effectively out of the fight. Looping around to cap Bravo and then maybe go up here to fight these monitors. Oh, as damaged as he is, that could be a big risk with the plasma these monitors have. Are they firing at the ship that's actually shooting at them? No, they're firing at the point defense ship. Oopsie. Bit of an error there. Oh, they switched. Spoosh, swoosh. Nothing like purple goo in the morning. Swoosh. They're just beautiful. Even when they miss. I really like when they hit, obviously. Oh. That guy got cheated. And having some real problems getting those plasma hits to land. If you could get a bunch of plasma on this side, I think those T-30s could tear this Axford apart. Having so many issues with that. And it's extremely up on caps and on points. You know what I should start doing? I should mute the in-game music and then just kind of jury-rig my own jukebox off of Lauren Faum's channel on YouTube. Just use the Nebulous music. Since the game detection of what the game state is kind of wonk. I mean, obviously we're in combat now. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to try doing that for the next one. Grape shot! It's a little early to be using the grape shot. This armor is way too functional for grape shot to be effective here, boss. What are you doing? Persephone's still being chased. Oh, Prometheus. Chardonnay Mims has managed to pull one ship way around and have it maybe cap? Yeah, it's gonna cap. As long as he doesn't dip out of the sphere on accident. Okay, nice. Good timing on that. That was impressive. I've tried to do that a few times with my smaller ships, and I always end up dipping out of the point at the last, 1% of the cap. Which pains me. You have to throw on the brakes and back up. It's just rough. Grenade getting, well, not pummeled, but shot at by T-30s. Which, not going to do that much damage. Not going to do much damage at all. Telerik could be getting so much damage down the field if this thing had guns on it instead of point defense. I don't understand why you would want to do this. Well, I do understand doing this in the first week of the OSP being out, when everyone's bringing container spam and S2 spam, and that's it. But I don't understand doing it now. Because things have kind of normalized. ANS has figured out how to manage that. And OSP players have evolved to things like this. Monitors with plasmas and T30s. Okay. Just dipping out. I don't know why. He's got munitions, I think. He's one rocket. But you could cap with this. Don't do this, kids. Friends, viewers. Don't leave when your Yub-Nub is out of munitions. You can still cap. See, this thing could come over here to Dagger and cap it. No problem. There's nothing contesting. That would be a very useful and helpful for the ANS team. We're gonna ask him. Oh man, this plasma's starting to add up on this Solomon. Probably not even gonna answer. Look at the plasma on this thing. It's adding up. That T30's getting through that armor, which is very bad. Ironically, I think battle tanking is actually extremely bad against plasma, because the plasma will be more concentrated on one spot. Because if you're fighting a Solomon from the side, and plasma could go all over this thing and do a little bit of damage, have it all spread out, and it's not really clear where the damage is being put. I mean, obviously you have the benefit of the empty compartments, but that upfront damage is so high. I don't know, he's not taking that much. I don't know, my knowledge of how capitals work is rather limited. How battleships work, I should say. I am familiar with how container ships work, but then they're very simple. They get shot and then they explode. I still think the double CIC is excessive. If you have a Citadel, I don't think you need a reinforced. 2 reinforced might not be a bad idea, but Citadels almost never die. Bum, bum. Sorry, I'm not saying much. I don't really have much to add. We've got a battleship flying and firing its beams, and we got some ships retreating, well, flying towards it actually right now, shooting at the battleship, and that's kind of it. It's not nothing. Oh, Teleric's also over here doing some capping, and over here doing some capping. See, this is what you can do with ships that you aren't using. My hands, your bones. Instead of dipping. you can cap. Which is very important. Been a pretty clear ANS victory for a while, but this has been a good fight. Yeah, plasma really adding up. So coming in from another angle too. The flank speed also just completely obliterating these engines. Flanking is really important on Solomon's, but it can take a toll. It can take a toll. Gotta be real careful about when to flank and when to not. And I don't know where that line is. I'm gonna be real. I think flanking out of the gate is something that a lot of Solomon players do. I think it's a really bad idea. I can attest to that. I think you get more use out of just flying towards the battle line while also keeping an eye out for what is where, and then positioning. And once you have a very specific line of attack that you want to engage in, then you hit the flank button. That'll save you a lot of engine health in the long run. Yeah. This thing's slowly getting finished off with the plasma and the T-30s. Man, that's crazy. I think the plasma and the T-30s have, they're underrated. This strat works. You just have to survive long enough for it to work. Right? Obviously, this team gets hard countered by missiles. But just sticking on this beamboat and dunking round after round after round after round into him, it adds up. Look at the whole nose of this thing, the whole face, this front half is just cut to shreds with plasma, roasted, seared to perfection. Like, oh, he's still going after Charlie, even through all this at a whopping 4 meters a second with one drive and a handful of engines. Just absolutely unkillable. Normally that's true, but this boy's all out of restores. ANS should be able to win with caps, but Barrett's, I'm not really sure what he's getting up to, because he's over here just sort of shooting at Min's ship like he's been the whole game, instead of flying around and counter capping the what the Prometheus is doing. I don't know what the thought process is here. He seems AFK. I'm gonna be real. It's like he logged out. Yeah, especially with this being parked instead of moving around and capping. I think this player's just AFK. Which is unfortunate. Yeah, we're getting to the tail end of this. ANS has it. No way OSP's able to cap enough to come back. Over 300 points down. And in the last leg of the match, Can I actually futz with my options now? Awesome. So I can do swoop. Oh, watch this, watch this. Some guy suggested this. In the Discord, stealing this from him. I really hope this isn't too loud. Yeah, maybe like right here. When you get into the last round of the game... Oh, that is too loud. You get into the last, like, minute and a half of the game. Play Spikers Inbound if the ANS is winning, or Welcome to Bethel Gate if the OSP is winning. And I thought that was such a good idea, dude. So here we go. We're testing it out right here, right now. We're doing it live. I hit Lauren Pham up on YouTube and just open this up. And no worries about copyright, since this is literally the game for which that music is for. It's probably still too loud. Yeah, let me turn that down just a little bit. There we go. The Lyric's still fighting Quiz. Working very hard. I'm gonna have to mess with the audio a lot to get this correct later on later videos. But right now it's awesome, and I'm very much enjoying it being here. Yeah, this is a great idea. Sorry if everyone's getting their ears owned by this. But I am getting my ears owned by this, which I like very much. All right, we're just gonna go ahead and listen to that again. Yeah. ANS, very spread out. Talaric's the only person still on the map actually doing anything. By the way, Bard is definitely AFK. I do not believe anyone telling me otherwise. So it's going to be down to Talaric to cover this A point and keep it under ANS control long enough to win. He's actually going on the aggression, trying to cap points. Unfortunately, he has no guns on this, which means he cannot override this ship and cap this point, since it's just... Or he can? So even though it's only point defense, he can cap. Very interesting. Maybe the floodlights count as weapons for the sake of determining who can override who on caps. It's a good game. That is a victory for the ANS team. Pretty strong one, in fact. And we're just gonna let that run during the AAR. Bard out here, not really doing any damage. I'm convinced he went AFK like 2 minutes into the game. I don't know what the hell that's about. Grenade, dishing it out. 22,000 damage. Not as much as he could have done, but still pretty good. Respectable. I think he wasted a lot of time chasing after Chardonnay Mims. Because and then he spent a lot of time driving in and driving back to the battlefield, which owned his poor engines. Danger Bones, 21,000, dipping out early for some reason. I don't know why. Talaric getting, I wasn't impressed with this setup, but apparently it worked. 24,000 damage out of this thing. Now imagine if he had 2 fighting ships instead of just 1. Think of how much more damage he could have done. I don't know. Maybe the PD thing is worth it. Maybe you know something I don't. Chardonnay Mims got obliterated. He just got rushed. Those missiles took out his escorts, and then the entire enemy team just chased him down as he retreated. Yeah, that's kind of a problem. 65 damage. None of that from containers. All of it from point defense, funnily enough. Or maybe, I don't know, it says he's dealt damage, but I don't think they actually did considering they got no hits. Yeah, he was just kind of throwing them out everywhere. Not good planning on where those were going. They got wrecked by Sarissa's, and they also got wrecked by Teleric's dedicated PD ship. Maneirus, certainly the MVP, the OSP side. Quiz putting some damage down the field. Respectable, not great, not bad. But Maneirus just bullying, I guess, for lack of a better term, the Solomon. If you can bully a Solomon. Fighting hard. Very cool. Good little game. Good little game. Yeah. I need to end the video. I have a Discord. People meet up there. People talk. I announce when I'm doing the cast there. And sometimes host game there. That's where games that have a lot of chatter, that's where those are hosted out of. So check that out. The link's in the description if you're interested in that sort of thing. If you aren't, thanks for coming, and I'll see you in the battle space.